Harper with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division, bringing you the Merchandiser Minute for Friday, August the 23rd, 2019. Hoping y'all are doing well at the end of another really busy week full of information and even full of a lot of rainfall, not only here in Virginia, but in the Corn Belt as well. This is a much anticipated week each year as the Farm Journal Pro Farmer Crop Tour is going through a lot of corn and bean fields in the Corn Belt, and we've got some numbers here, some summary numbers from that tour this week. Corn expected national yield 163.3 bushels per acre. That brings the total production to 13.3 billion bushels. And the number they came in with for soybeans, 46.1 estimated yield. That makes 3.4 billion bushels of soybeans. There's a lot of numbers on social media. A lot will be on some media outlets this weekend. Check all those numbers out state by state. And a lot of information. It looks like on the corn side especially, really backing up those USDA numbers that we saw on the August 12th crop report. There's still a long ways to go for this crop. It's very immature. We know it got planted late, so weather is still be a very big factor, but we appreciate all those teams that were out in a lot of fields in a lot of states and drove a lot of miles this week to get these numbers, and we encourage you to look those numbers up for yourself. When you look at the futures board this week, we have December corn closing down 10 cents for the week at 367. November beans, your new crop contract, closed down 18 cents a bushel for the week at 856. And September wheat was green on the board in Chicago, up 6 cents to close at 475. And we did have a futures in France. The Matif wheat was off pretty hard this week, so it was interesting to see the Chicago wheat react to that in a positive way. Some of the eye catchers really today, tariffs were back in the news big. We saw China come in again saying they're going to impose new tariffs on U.S. goods. Some will go in effect on September 1st, some on December 15th, and they do include beef, pork, and soybeans. The White House responded with a press release basically saying that they would follow up, and we're waiting to see what that follow-up will be. I mentioned earlier big rains, some unexpected across dry areas in Iowa and Illinois and Indiana this week. We saw those, even people on the Pro Farmer Crop Tour in rain suits. That didn't help your futures price much this week. We saw the second Russian case of African swine fever confirmed in a location near the Chinese border. And China also said this week an official number that over a year they've now culled 32% of their hog herd due to African swine fever or ASF. The Trump administration did get into some trouble this week. We all saw with granting some small refinery waivers. The ethanol industry we know has been in a bad way margin-wise for several years. And we also saw this week that Poet, our largest ethanol producer, announced the idling of a plant in Indiana and also the slowing down of production at multiple other plants. The White House did jump on board pretty quick with some cabinet meetings to try to find out how these waivers were impacting the ethanol industry, and watch for more of that next week. Crop progress this week from USDA on Monday. The corn is at 56%. The corn crop, 56% good to excellent. Last year we were at 68. The soybean crop is rated at 53% good to excellent. Last year at this week, we were at a 65% good to excellent rating. Inspections, beans came in above expected. Remember, soybean prices right now picked up at the Gulf or the Pacific Northwest. We're very competitive, and we are seeing more soybean sales each week and export loadings each week. Kind of the reverse is true for corn. We know that our corn is not competitively priced right now with what consumers in the world can buy out of South America or what they can buy out of the Black Sea area. So a little bit of a dichotomy there. Our corn's a little bit high and our beans are cheaper. As far as the export sales report, beans were up this week, above expectation. Wheat was also above expectations, what was sold in the export report, and corn came in as expected. We do have the fresh off the press. We got it a little early today, the Commitment of Traders report. We know that's important to look at every week. What is the opinion of the managed money speculator? Today we see a short position by the managed money speculator for wheat by 1,000 contracts. There are 56,000 contracts short corn and 72,000 contracts short soybeans. So short across the board by the managed money speculator. Again, when we get back in here on Sunday night and open, and Monday when everybody will be at their desk, next week's going to be all about weather, focusing on North American weather. Can this crop that looks like it does have a very big yield potential, even though it was planted late, can it get the ideal weather conditions it needs to finish strong? Tariffs will be in the news a lot next week, impacting your futures price. We got to figure out, after 2 weeks ago when we had the crop report, we kind of had to get out of the way of the funds. This week it was all about the crop tour, and the funds wanted to see what yields, potential yields look like. I think next week they'll be down to business and having an opinion. And we hope you'll give us a call if we can help you. This is Robert at Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division.